Hey YouTubers, so this is the last videos that I missed out on while I was away, so I think that I should be caught up once I've done this one, and the subject for last week was Pro Anna and Pro Mia, my thoughts. Um, Before I start, I just want to say that anything that I say in this video isn't meant to upset or offend anybody. It's literally my thoughts and my viewpoints. Um, you know, you can disagree with them. This isn't the kind of channel where we're saying believe this or think this. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. This is just mine. Also, I want to say that Pixie's video on this was really great, and there's not really a lot to add to it, really. I 100% agree with everything that she said, and I think she put it over really well. So, it kind of, without me repeating everything that she said, I guess I'm going to just kind of try a different angle on it. For me, I have been on Pro Anna and Pro Mia websites in the past, not because I myself am Pro Anna or Pro Mia. I never have been. I've never had the mindset where I wanted anybody to encourage my behaviour, or that I felt that I should encourage anybody else in eating disorder behaviour. Quite the opposite, and that's always been like my take on it. But for me, I was reaching out to anyone that I thought might understand my thoughts and behaviours. I didn't understand it myself. I knew what eating disorders was, and I knew that I had one. I just didn't understand sort of how my behaviours were coming about. I didn't understand what caused an eating disorder. I didn't understand why I had one. I didn't understand why I felt compelled to do the things that I was doing, such as starving and purging and stuff. So for me, when I reached out to these websites, I was looking for like-minded souls to kind of give me some answers. And I think if anybody else enters those sites looking for the same kind of guidance, what they find that they get is a whole barrage of people encouraging their behaviour, telling them that that's the only way to live and to behave, that what they're doing is right, that it's not particularly an illness, it's a lifestyle choice, one that we should all take. This is just my experience, and I did get kind of sucked into that whole world for a little while. There's a lot of sort of think thin slogans and stuff that were part of my daily routine to think about and study and say to myself at every opportunity, especially whilst working out or growing up or whatever, and it does suck you in. However, I myself never wanted that. That's not what I went out to achieve. And as soon as I realised sort of the negative impact that was all having upon me, and the fact that I was being angered by some of the comments to other girls, I thought when I was on these sites, I was thinking, well, they're only saying that to me because they can see that I'm like so much fatter than everyone else, and so it's right that they're saying that to me. But then I started noticing, there's girls, like tiny girls, already very poorly, and people saying, don't give in, stop, don't eat today, limit your calories even more, go on, push yourself that bit further. And these girls were already like desperately ill and very, very thin. And I was just like, how can somebody encourage somebody to behave in that way when they're already putting their life at risk? Like, I found it acceptable that people were saying that to me, but I didn't find it acceptable that they were saying it to other people. And so that's when I started to kind of have my eyes open to the whole Pro Anna thing and realise what it was, and that it wasn't necessarily already eating disorder people. It was people making a choice to be that way and striving to be thin and striving to live like an anorexic rather than actually having anorexia or bulimia. And because of my experience with it and what I've seen people say to other people and what I've seen people do and the whole like inspiration thing and stuff like that, I'm now like very against it. I find it I just think it's so damaging, so wrong and twisted to aspire to have such a, a disrupted life. Like they, like Pixie's absolutely right in what she said, that, you know, it's very much a media thing, that being skinny means having it all. You know, it does, in the media it's portrayed that if you're skinny, you know, you have control over everything, control over your life, your career, your friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever it may be. Everything's wonderful if you're just skinny, because it shows that control. And actually, to have an eating disorder is the opposite of that. Sorry, that's my dog. I don't know if you can hear her. She's like scratching around somewhere. Um, yeah, to have an eating disorder absolutely disrupts all those things. I've had many relationships collapse because of my eating disorder. I couldn't go to university because of the way that I was at the time because of my eating disorder. Um, I pushed away friends, I lost jobs, you know, over the time. It completely disrupts everything. I just do not see how somebody can encourage that kind of disruption and poison into somebody's life and proclaim it to be something sort of glamorous, something that we should strive to achieve. Um, it's a complicated issue because there's so many blurred boundaries. There are some pro-anners and pro-meas that actually have an eating disorder, so it's trying to draw the line between what's eating disordered mentality and what is actually a choice. There's so many crossovers that, you know, it's difficult to pinpoint one person and say, actually, you're not anorexic or bulimic, you're just pro-anorexic or pro-bulimic. Some pro-anorexics rather than pro-bulimics don't realise that they actually have a disorder. They're still telling themselves that they're choosing that it's them, they're completely in control, when actually it's not. So there's so many ways and sort of places in which the lines get blurred and it's hard to tell. But the core people that literally are encouraging themselves and other people to strive for thinness and to starve for glamour and, you know, this lifestyle that is a big con, that to me is very, very wrong, very damaging, and it really does give the wrong message about what eating disorders are, and I think it affects the way that eating disorders are treated and sort of stereotypes, and it really, you know, helps to form these labels that, you know, to be anorexic means to be super skinny, which isn't always the case. Um, and I just think that it causes a lot of problems, and it's just so, it actually terrifies me. It really terrifies me when I hear people encouraging people like that and see pro-ana and pro-mia movements now. Um, I definitely 100% steer away from it now. Um, and, you know, I do call people up on it if people, you know, are saying things like that to people. So obviously I have quite a lot of anorexic and bulimic friends now through recovery and through YouTube channels and Facebook channels and all the rest of it. And if I hear somebody sort of saying pro-anorexic and pro-bulimic statements to people, I do sort of challenge them on them and say, do you realise kind of what you're saying? Because I sometimes don't think people do. It's such a society that people get pulled into that I don't think always we're conscious of it. For me, when I was on pro-ana and pro-mia sites at the beginning, like I said, I wasn't aware of what pro-ana and pro-mia was. I just thought people were saying that to me genuinely because I was fat and that's what I deserved and that was the right thing to be saying to me. It was just honesty. But that's not the case for anyone. However, big, small, fat, thin, skinny, whatever you are, no one should be encouraging you or you should be encouraging anybody else to starve themselves, you know, and that's just my thought. So I hope that that kind of answers the topic without going over exactly the same things that Pixie said, and hopefully I'm up to date now. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll speak soon. Bye.